Well, it doesn't really stop. Alaska Airlines has reported that its technicians have found some loose hardware that has been visible on some Boeing 737-9s. Specifics around the number of units identified to have loose hardware following these initial inspections have not been publicly disclosed at this point. For Alaska Airlines, they say that while they await final documentation from the FAA and Boeing to begin formal inspections, they have been glossing over the grounded aircraft. As a result of these initial inspections done by technicians, loose hardware was found in what is being described as another bad look for Boeing and associated suppliers that have already been in the spotlight across the past week for all the wrong reasons. If you want to stretch out what I just mentioned, though, to the past couple of years, that would be a pretty accurate statement too. Alaska Airlines says that only when they're permitted to proceed with the formal inspections, they'll go over all criteria per instructions provided by the Federal Aviation Administration in accordance with Boeing. The company further notes that if any more findings come to light, they will be dealt with appropriately, with all significance placed on ensuring the aircraft are safe to return to service. Inspections for Alaska Airlines will require documenting every finding with those collected and reported by the Federal Aviation Administration. The carrier ended its most recent statement by confirming that the safety of the aircraft is its number one priority. Reports of Alaska Airlines finding loose hardware on some 737-9s that are grounded currently actually only came hours after United Airlines reported similar. Initially broken by reputable source The Air Current, this publication indicated that per their sources, up to 5 737-9s had been found to have loose bolts in the inspected area thus far. This figure, as I mentioned, is per their source. The airline did not confirm the official number. United Airlines, for reference, flies 79 Boeing 737-9s on a normal day, but at the moment we know the entire fleet is grounded following that major Alaska Airlines incident that occurred just a few days ago. With Alaska Airlines joining the party, if you will, now 2 major airlines in the same country have reported similar occurrences following only initial inspections, proving to many that the problem is hardly isolated and more widespread than I think we can say we initially thought. Warranted question marks have emerged now over just how widespread the loose bolts and hardware truly are with this aircraft type. The plug door exits have been the primary topic of conversation, and I'd argue also focus. However, if all it took was an incident to identify these further issues, onlookers are already saying, are there more that we're not aware of? This is pure speculation, but how can you blame those for being of this opinion when all these findings are now coming to light? This all stems back to the lack of trust that people have in the American plane maker, and also, if you're talking us aviation enthusiasts, the suppliers that are associated too. In terms of the aircraft that are under the spotlight, several of these were actually only delivered to Alaska Airlines and United recently. As a result, people have questioned practices at the American plane maker in an era where, if you may recall, the company has really been attempting to change its culture and ways following the significant incidents of the late 2010s. We do have an ongoing investigation launched by the NTSB with support from Boeing and relevant parties, where, in due course, further details about what transcribed on Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 will come to light. The Boeing 737-9s that had an EAD, or Emergency Airworthiness Directive, that mandated inspections do remain grounded, and this primarily impacts several companies, yes, around the world, but most would argue none more so than Alaska and United Airlines, which are also jointly the largest operators of the variant globally and rely on the services of these aircraft for flights across North America. That is why we're seeing flight cancellations continue to stack up. If you have any thoughts on the latest findings involving Alaska Airlines now reporting loose hardware, let me know down below in the comments. This is a continuously moving situation, so I do appreciate your patience. If the updates are ever changing, maybe some videos do come out a little bit later. It is safe to say that as a one-man show here on the publication, it has been pretty hard to keep up with everything, but doing my absolute hardest there for you. Thanks again for your support. Take care, be safe. I'll see you next time.
And we'll fly.